it's just fascinating how last year, this time, SmackDown was one of the, like, I was like, man, it's a good show. It was, watching SmackDown was great, and Raw was trash.
Mm.
And now they're both, like, Raw is just a little bit better
Raw
than
is too
SmackDown is.
long. I can
It's too
barely
long.
make it through. And when you have just these random matches that don't mean anything, there's no point to them.
Yeah, the
It's too
matches
much.
that, you know, yeah, Raw. Uh,
It slows down.
yep.
But we'll see. It's looking like the pay per view, at least. The next pay per view is looking good. Braun Strowman versus Brock Lesnar. They built this up
And that's only one
correctly.
match, though.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm glad The Miz won't be facing Jason Jordan. I'm glad it's
Yeah,
going to be
but
Jeff Hardy. That might
he's
actually
going
be a good
against
match.
40-year-old Jeff Hardy.
It'll be better than Jason Jordan being handed the Intercontinental title.
If you look at, okay, Kurt Angle has this big mystery, right? And then let's say, okay, he has this whole child thing. Everyone was thinking it was going to be Chad Gable, right? 'Cause they
Right.
look the same, this and that.
Mm-hmm.
Turns out it's Jason Jordan. Okay, but Jason Jordan comes out and he's a good guy and he's all smiles and it's fine, but he's not getting any reaction. He's I think he's only won one or two of his matches since he lost to Finn Balor clean,
Mm-hmm.
which I was hoping that would have been his moment. Like they had a good match, a competitive match. Finn wins, and let's say Finn goes to help him up or shake his hand or whatever, and Jason just smacks his hand away.
Mm-hmm.
Gets a little bit of that Kurt Angle streak in him,
Mm-hmm.
and and they were booking him to go after the IC belt. That looks like it's over with now. I mean,
Well, The Miz apparently beat him clean on the pre-show of SummerSlam.
he pinned him with like 30 people in the crowd too.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know what's going on, man. Because for a while there it was The Miz and The Miztourage versus Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins, and then
Yeah,
all of a
but
sudden it transitioned to Dean and them versus Sheamus, and now you had Finn Balor lose to Bray Wyatt, beat Bray Wyatt, take a week off from it, and now Bray Wyatt eliminates Finn.
so there's so much there. There's so much wrong in that. First of all, Bray Wyatt, why? No one cares. No one listens to him anymore. He's irrelevant.
And it's their own fault.
Because they punished him.
He
They
could
took
have been
away his family, and they punished him for something that had nothing to do with wrestling.
he could have been so much bigger. I think when I think about him, you think about his match against John Cena at WrestleMania 30, and he should have won.
He should
And
have beat Randy Orton. He shouldn't have lost the title. He only had the title for like a month, and he
and
had
barely,
just won it. And
yeah,
he could have had a decent title reign. But
yeah,
they immediately, why did Randy need it for a 14th time? Why?
a pretty boring run too. Yeah, I don't know, man. It, I don't know. That's why I really do enjoy NXT so much more because I know Triple H has more of a hand in it than Vince does, and you can tell it's fresh and that Takeover show was so much better than SummerSlam.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the main event of SummerSlam was great, but that's one match. Everyone praised, AJ versus Kevin Owens. I mean, it was a good match, but I felt like they could have done better. They had too many Shane bumps, which that started to get annoying. Yeah. Oh man, I don't know.
Yeah, because it became about Shane. The whole match was about Shane. It was built around Shane.
It's a weird state the way WWE is right now. It's so weird, man. The brand split is just it was unnecessary. It was just a ratings grab. Um, I, it's just weird, man. You have a bunch of like Sammy's. When's the last time you saw Sami Zayn?
2 weeks ago when he refused to be a referee for Kevin Owens. And he was just starting. He was just starting to win me over because I was not a Sami Zayn fan for a long time. And then they moved him to SmackDown, and you see a little bit more of his personality. And he was, winning matches and being impressive. And he's just not there.
It's just weird. Whoever's booking SmackDown, it's just a shame. It's just a shame. It was such a good show, and now it's and they add Bobby Roode, and Bobby Roode's a face.
Which I don't mind.
And he comes out tonight, and he's pandering to the crowd, and he's smiling and everything. He's not going to stay a face. I mean, as long as this doesn't go on for too long.
Why does he need to be a heel? See, I didn't follow him in NXT.
Well, even in TNA, he's basically been a heel his whole career. So if you just go back to NXT, he was a heel. I mean, he was one of those people that when he first showed up, you saw him in the crowd, and you oohed and awed. It took him a while to debut, but when he debuted, of course he has the silly music. It's over the top. The entrance of him posing and everything. He's gonna get cheered, but you go to these takeover shows, and they're gonna, what do they call it? Bizarro World. They're gonna cheer pretty much everybody, unless it's. So Bobby Roode, he was working heel though, and he always has. He always has, for the most part. Randy Orton is one of the most boring. His match with Rusev at SummerSlam is indicative of that. That was just terrible.
Pointless, just pointless.
You put that on the main card, but you don't have an Intercontinental title match.
Or the tag team title match.
Or the tag, which was far superior. You could argue that tag team title match was the match of the night. If it wasn't for Braun Strowman destroying Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
I mean, that was the match of the night. That was awesome. What?
I don't get it. You had Cena dancing and destroying Corbin in 5 minutes. You had Rusev and Randy.
10 seconds.
Yeah, their 10-second match.
10 seconds. And, it's this booking. You have Alexa Bliss lose, and then 2 weeks later she wins the belt back. Huh?
Cleanly. Clean. Just didn't have to cheat. No distractions.
Yeah, I don't know what that says about Sasha Banks, but man, they pointed out every time she's won the belt, anytime she's defended it, she's lost. She's never had one successful defense. So maybe that's her gimmick. Right? So I'd be first in line. Like, she won the belt. Oh, I want,
Oh, yeah.
Part of me was, when she won at SummerSlam, part of me was waiting to hear Carmella's music come out and have her cash in. I was like, I was anticipating, watch them swerve people and put Carmella and, move her to Raw and make this whole...
That would have been interesting.
Yeah, I mean...
But they didn't do anything.
No.
She was a no-show.
It was a boring show.
Week after week of her holding up that briefcase and giving passive-aggressive threats to cashing in. Nothing. No payoff.
She ought to just be thankful they didn't do her like they did Baron Corbin. They could have done that, on the SummerSlam show. Had him lose. I don't care that he didn't win, but man, just the way they did it, it made no sense. No sense.
I guess that leaves you and me, man. So paint it up real pretty. 'Cause when you and me is a Ramon,